Okay, so today's deep dive takes us into some profoundly challenging source material. We're exploring how the creator might perceive time, space, existence, well, in ways fundamentally different from us. Our mission for you is to really grapple with a perception of reality that, frankly, stretches beyond our own.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here, is that the sources reveal a perspective where our familiar concepts, past, present, future, or even what it means to be or not be, they're just radically transformed. We'll be looking at the infinite nature of God versus, well, the finite nature of creation.
So let's jump straight into this mind-bending idea from the sources that God transcends space and time. What does that actually mean for God's perspective on reality? Can you unpack that a bit?
Well, think of it like this. For God, all moments, past, present, future, they exist simultaneously. It's all one eternal now. The sources even suggest that an event like the cross, both as a historical thing and its future impact, God could see it as happening now.
Happening now. That's really something to consider.
It is. And it's not just some abstract theological point. It really shifts how you might think about divine providence, maybe even free will within that eternal now.
Right. Right. So if God sees everything as now, how does that reshape our understanding of history or things yet to come? Does it sort of imply, I don't know, a kind of predetermined reality from God's viewpoint?
Well, it connects directly to God's omnipotence and omniscience, doesn't it? God is present in every moment, every place, simultaneously, sustaining all of infinity. We as creatures, we're limited. We experience time linearly, right? We can't time travel or be in two places at once.
Definitely not.
But God isn't bound by this sequence that defines our existence. For God, space and time, they exist within his infinity, but he's not constrained by them.
Okay, so building on that idea, the sources then introduce this, well, even more counterintuitive concept, non-existence. How can something not exist and yet still be in God? That sounds almost contradictory.
It does sound it, yeah. But the sources present this radical idea. Non-existence is always in God. So imagine something that hasn't come into being yet, or maybe something that's vanished from our reality. The sources suggest these things, these concepts, remain fully present in God's eternal awareness.
Huh. So they can be called into existence or out of it.
Exactly. Called into or out of existence. What we see as real, like our space-time continuum, might just not be perceived the same way by God at all.
So what does this all mean for us then? Firmly rooted in space and time, only able to grasp things step by step.
Well, I think it really highlights the limits of our creaturely understanding, our perception of time as this linear flow.
Yeah.
That's simply how we, as finite beings, experience it. What's nothing or non-existent to us, like the deep future or something long gone, God might consider it always existing or always present within his being.
Okay, that's a lot to take.
And this perspective, it extends directly to God's perfection. The sources are very clear. God makes no mistakes, knows everything from the beginning. God is eternally consistent. You see references like Jesus Christ being the same yesterday, today, and forever. That omniscience, it includes knowing how every creature will respond, the precise outcome, even before creation started.
Wow. So if God's plan is that meticulous, and there are, as you say, no oops moments, how do these sources handle things like suffering or, apparent setbacks in creation? Does that foresight account for everything?
It seems so. That unwavering perfection and knowledge, they ensure creation's ultimate completion and justice. It's all part of the plan. And within this divine plan, the sources bring in the second God, that's Christ, entering our space-time precisely to resolve sin and death.
Okay.
So it shows how this transcendent God interacts with our reality. Sin and death are huge for us, obviously, but the sources suggest that in the context of God's infinite being, their ultimate resolution is already, a settled matter within his eternal view.
What an incredible journey through these sources. We've really grappled with God seeing all time as now, and this astonishing idea that even non-existence is somehow present in his being.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? And it raises this important question. If our perception of reality, of existence, even of the future, is so fundamentally different from God's, what does this imply about the true nature of being itself? And maybe about our own place within it all?
Definitely something for you to mull over as you go about your day. We hope this deep dive is giving you some profound new insights to ponder.